My name is Allan Baedak, and this is a review of my RAP capstone project. Just as a little background, I am a settler learner on this land and currently live and work on the traditional and unceded territory of the Semiahmoo, Kwantlen, and Katzie First Nations. My wife is Cree Métis from Treaty 1 and has been doing a deep dive learning about her culture and ancestors for the past 6 years or so. I've been a member of Rotary for over 26 years and have been a part of several trips to Haiti supporting community capacity building projects in rural Haiti. I'm looking for a way to review articles I may write and that have been written by others to identify any biases that may cause harm and how to embrace an approach to projects and programs to be seen through a Western critical lens and Indigenous decolonial lens. As a starting point, Chris Krug provided me with an initial prompt that I then took a look at, and in the review process found a couple of things that, as far as strengths, two things that stood out for me, why it matters, ensuring that the assistant remains an educational tool rather than just an editor. Explaining the systemic impact helps me actually learn. And the output control forces the model to force, process, and understand the core message before analyzing it. Interesting learning there. From the vulnerabilities, two that stood out for me were the kitchen sink output fatigue. So in listing 7 distinct types of biases in step 2, the LLM feels an immense pressure to find all of them in every aspect, in every text that a user submits. So if a user pastes a relatively benign paragraph update, the model may overanalyze or stretch definitions. And structural output messiness. Going from step 2 to step 3 to step 4, it forces the user to scroll up and down to match the issue with its explanation in the results. So in this revision, the first revision of the prompt, we're looking to integrate steps 2, 3, and 4 into a tied structure, and to give the model a no bias output escape hatch. So if it is a strong piece that doesn't have a lot of bias in it, then it has the ability to communicate that. So that's helpful. So this is the revised prompt. One of the things that I found helpful at the end was having this snippet quoting the specific language from the text. That was really helpful. We can look at that later. So again, the snippet piece and the escape hatch, two really strong additions. The next revision, I wanted to add that the LLM take into account both the Western critical tradition and Indigenous decolonial framework. And so this is how the prompt ended up. And with these explicit lenses, separating or highlighting specific traits of Indigenous and decolonial concerns like historical past tensing, erasure of sovereignty, or extractivist framing, the model helps prevent defaulting to standard Western-centric diversity definitions. Also, decolonial and Indigenous frameworks heavily emphasize relationality and locality. And so having the ability to add local specialties or local context to the text being analyzed helps keep things on track. So the next step is to create an app. Having been very new to this world and not having any experience with AI programming or AI in general, this has been an intense learning curve and really quite satisfying. So this is the first attempt at creating an app based on the prompt revisions. The first thing that I really like how this turned out is the analytical methodology, breaking it down into two lenses, Western critical lens and an Indigenous decolonial lens. This is hard to see the text here, but this is a, a guided case sample that I ran the app against, and it came back with three strong issues. This particular case sample is a frontier expansion and settlement report from 1885, which clearly, based on the time, would have some expected biases, and so it determined them. The snippet in pink is the piece that is being analyzed. It's showing a systemic and historical impact, and at the end, it's giving a justice-minded revision to the text that is really powerful. So, this has been a really eye-opening experience, and I'm happy with the progress of how this is shaping up. Hope you like it.